Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday morning. We are here on the Money Manziel MMA channel to present to you my predictions for the main card of Steve Garcia versus David Onama. We're back in the Apex after being in Abu Dhabi. Let's take a quick look at how UFC 321 concluded.
Have you ever been fingered by an MMA fighter before?
Yeah, pretty incredible stuff there. Very accurate to what happened. But listen, we're past that. We're moved on now in the fight game and in the UFC. And we are here today to bring you predictions. Now, if you haven't been with the channel for long enough, the Money Manziel prediction criteria, it's been expertly crafted by Harvard engineers, MIT engineers, engineers from your local community college, from your local bar. All these people have come together to create this criteria for how we pick fights. The first criteria spot is autism. That's what it is. Um, Listen, whoever has more autism, if you're going to be able to out autism the other guy, you're a little more special within yourself in the fight, then we're going to pick you to win. Second, aura slash TikTok editability. We need you to be the type of guy to get a hard TikTok edit made of you when you win. And honestly, if you get a lot of sad TikToks made about you when you lose, then we might also pick against you. So, there's really a double-edged sword there. Third, IQ. There are dumb fighters in the sport, a lot of them. Bilal Muhammad at UFC 315, dumb game plan. Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady, dumb human being. Jake Matthews in every fight he's ever been in. Same for Kevin Holland. These are dumb human beings. At the end of the day, we're not going to pick you if you're dumb. That's a major factor you'll come to find out on this channel. And then finally, plot armor. Listen, this one is not as big when we're looking at more specifically, Apex cards where there's not some big name fighting where you're like, oh shit, dude, they've got plot armor. They've rattled off 7 top 5 wins in a row. Like some bullshit like that. We're past that at this point. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into the main fight in the main event of the evening. Steve Garcia and David Onama. Steve Garcia is coming off a bunch of wins in a row. All of them were by KO until he took Calvin Kattar to a decision. It was dominant. Never any attempt from Kattar to, really catch up in any way. So, I don't know. He put Kattar down pretty easy for him the whole time. Yeah, man, good win for him. David Onama is off the wins of Giga Chikadze and Roberto Romero, to high-level wins there. So really a stunner of a main event. Listen, I'm gonna hate on this main event just for the sake of name value, but these are two fun fighters. I'm here to admit that I do like Steve Garcia and David Onama. I actually thought about having Onama in the banner because I like Onama so much. He's actually a really fun guy to watch. Lays it out on the line, striking wise. I think the Giga fight kind of got to him pressure wise, and plus Giga's hard to figure out. So, we'll give him a break there. I'm gonna pick Steve Garcia though. Not only because he has a dumb tattoo on his arm, but because skill for skill, I think he's going to win. Onama's chinny. The gas tank's kind of weird. He's not very technical. He just throws looping punches, or clubbing shots, rather, that can land and hurt you badly when they land. I like Onama a lot. I doubt he wins here. I think Garcia KOs him early, maybe first or second round if he comes out swinging. And I'll say this again, dude. Steve Garcia, we're putting this guy in top 5 bad tattoos of all time. I'm sure there's like some warrior spirit meaning to the tattoo, but this dude legitimately walked into a tattoo parlor, right? He's got $300 on hand, and he says, draw a fucking sword on my arm. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm walking around at my local Walmart, I'm trying to buy, some eggs, some milk, whatever else, and I see a dude with a sword on his arm walking around, I'm going to make fun of him. I might post it on TikTok even, you know what I mean? So, I don't know about the tattoo choice from Steve Garcia, but I support his fighting style. I think he gets a KO early versus David Onama. Other bad tattoos include Cody Garbrandt. All of them are swords, by the way. Cody Garbrandt's face tat with the sword over his eye. Generationally horrible tattoo, and I love Cody. But this has got to be one of the worst tattoos of all time. He's also got a diamond throat, apparently, so think about that one. Brock Lesnar did what every man should do, which is get so big and jacked that you can get dog shit tattoos and no one's allowed to make fun of you. Do you think anyone thinks that this tattoo is cool that Brock Lesnar has on his chest? He legitimately has this shit like down his body and no one's allowed to say anything to him. It's kind of genius at the end of the day. So shout out Brock Lesnar, shout out Cody Garbrandt, and shout out Steve Garcia. 3 of the worst tattoos I've seen. Let me know down below if there are other bad tattoos. Let's move on to the co-main. Waldo, god damn it, why is this guy here? Waldo Cortez Acosta and Ante Delia. I don't know why Waldo. I hate Waldo Cortez Acosta. I don't even know why I hate Waldo Cortez Acosta, to be honest with you. I just hate that like how bad heavyweight is has allowed a guy like Waldo Cortez Acosta to exist. He's won every single fight outside of Ryan Spann by like tappy decision 29-28, slightly robbing the other guy. He's just fat and not good at fighting. And heavyweight has allowed this guy to continue to be here. He is the favorite against Ante Delia, which makes me upset. I think Delia wins this fight because I can't stand Waldo. I'm sure there are people that like Waldo. You know, Salsa Boy is a cool fucking nickname, but listen, I can't support a guy like Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think Ante Delia is skilled. He trains with Tom Aspinall. Um, he does have a third nipple. I don't know if anyone else has been talking about this in the media this week. I don't know if you'll get that question at media day or not. But this guy does have like it's either like a pimple or like a birth thing. I'm not sure what's going on. If it's like serious, let me know. But he's got like a little thing going on under that right pec. So let me know. I think it's a great base for MMA. All fighters should desire to have a third nipple. So you know we'll mess with that. What does suck though is if Aspinall continues his reign, and I get it, he just had the no contest. If he continues his reign, Delia will force Aspinall out of the fucking division. You know what I mean? Because Aspinall said he'd vacate if Delia was ready to fight for the title, which is Dana hates hearing that. I think when Dana heard that, it made him upset. I think he heard that and he was like, all right, fuck it, well, I'm just going to start hating on Tom Aspinall, and that's what he decided to do. Yeah, what's the question? Yeah, Tom didn't want to continue. Yep. Yeah, he quit, he got eye gouged by the dirtiest fighter in heavyweight, but yeah, he quit, it is what it is. Who gives a shit? Yeah, shout out to Tom Aspinall, shout out to Ante Delia. I think Ante wins this fight, though. Give me a fucking knockout, dude. Put this motherfucker out cold. Oh my goodness, what a featured fight, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremiah Wells and Tembo Garimbo. I've been looking forward to this fight all week. Generational, cinema worthy, top of the food chain type of guys. Jeremiah Wells, I think his last fight was a loss to Max Griffin. So you can tell that Jeremiah is just really high level. And Temba's coming off that club and sub loss to Vicente Luque. Speaking of Temba Garimbo's loss to Vicente Luque, in Vicente Luque's last fights around that 310 fight, he was put out cold by Jeff Neal. He curled up into a ball against Joaquin Buckley in St. Louis, or not St. Was it St. Louis? I have no clue. Either way, this guy curls up into Atlantic City. He curls up into a ball against Joaquin Buckley and quits. Vicente Luque, after quitting against Joaquin Buckley and just getting beaten down his last few fights, decides, you know what? Temba Garimbo said he's only got $7 in his bank account. Now it's time to come back into my prime. We saw prime Vicente Luque for all 45 seconds of that fight. Knocks down Temba Garimbo, chokes him unconscious, and then goes right back to losing again. So Vicente Luque, I think, has an issue with poor people. It could be an ethnicity thing. But shout out to Vicente Luque.
Please, Spear, I need this. My mom is kind of homeless.
Yeah, it's a pretty accurate description, I'd say. I'm picking Temba. I like Temba's story, man. He's not that exciting to watch. I don't think he's very powerful, even though he had that one knockout in the Apex. And he just kind of is a wrestler that doesn't even work for submissions necessarily. I don't think his style is very fan-friendly. Beat Nico Price. Shout out to the kid. I just think the lights were too bright in his last fight, like Jared Allen saying down below. I think it's Jeremiah Wells is I think even now Vicente Luque would beat Jeremiah Wells, and we know that Vicente is no longer at the point where we want him to be. So I think Temba wins this fight just based off of MMA math and the fact that I just feel bad for the guy, to be honest with you. So I'm going to pick him to win. Don't let me down, Temba. Let's keep going. Oh my god. This is a main card fight, by the way, of a fight night. They have ESPN Plus subscriptions to watch this. They're illegally streaming it. This is a real fight on the main card of a UFC fight night. Who the fuck are these guys, bro? I don't know who these guys are.
Who the fuck is that guy?
I've never seen Yadier Del Val fight in my life. I know of Isaac Dolgarian because he got robbed by Christian Rodriguez. How are these main card fighters? What world are we living in where, we should totally put fucking Dolgarian versus Del Val on the fucking main card. Mm-hmm. Two of my favorite fighters in the sport. These guys are marauders. High level, just like I said about one of the other fights. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit about, bro. Like, why give UFC fans a reason to watch the Apex cards at least? You know what I mean? Put some fucking fun, sneaky bangers in there. Maybe this is, and I don't know it. You know what I mean? Because I've never seen them fight before in my life. So it is what it is. I'll pick Dolgarian literally because I know who he is. Because I have watched the end of the third round of him versus C-Rod, and then I rewatched it a little bit after. Kid got robbed. Yeah, I've watched. Listen, these are my two favorite guys to watch on film. Yeah, I watch Yadier Del Val highlights in my free time. I watch his full fight replays. I watch his regional fights. I watch all that. Just one of the highest level guys in the sport. Same for Dolgarian. These guys could be champ right now. You know what I mean? These guys could be champ. They could beat all the top contenders. Just truly spectacular fighters. Charles Radke and Daniel Frunza. I will tell you, this is a fight that I'm excited for. Charles Radke knows how to promote a fight. He's really actually great on the micro. Like Charles Radke's a guy I'd trust in a post-fight interview. Let's take a look at one of his recent post-fight interviews to really showcase how, trustworthy he is when he gets a microphone around him.
It felt great. And so fuck all you
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're picking Charles Radke off of that alone. Give this man the microphone. Put Daniel Cormier in there. Give him the microphone immediately. This is just something, yeah. I mean, I'm picking Radke. I will say Prata's emoted on him and fucking knocked him out to the liver. Tough. And then Mike Malott colded this dude and bounced his head off the canvas. Kind of unfortunate, series of events and fights for Charles Radke. Daniel Frunza's dog shit. He got knocked down 3 times by Reese McKee, who had never won a UFC fight before. Granted, he had a tough schedule, but Reese just lost again in a fight he was getting dominated in. So, I'm at the point now where I'm not exactly moved by anybody that loses to Reese McKee. So we'll pick Charles Radke to win this fight. Feels pretty clear to me. Give the dude a microphone. Final fight of the video and the first fight on the main card. Alan Nascimento versus Rafael Estevam. Now listen, I believe that has this changed? I think this fight has changed. Estevam is out. Who the fuck is Nascimento fighting? He's fighting like Cody Durden or Cody Stamen. He's fighting someone else. So this was what initially was booked. There's someone else in there. I had like a whole bit about how Estevam was gonna gas out and win 2-1. If you guys didn't know how Estevam fights, I have zero clue who is taking the place of Estevam. I believe it's Cody Durden. I might be wrong about that. In either case, I'll pick Alan Nascimento. He's a pretty solid fighter. A lot of submissions. If it's Durden, he gasses out every fight, same way that Estevam does. So we'll pick Cody Durden. If it's Cody Stamen, who I don't even know if he's still in the UFC, maybe we'll still go Nascimento. I have no fucking clue, man. I don't know if this fight got changed. I really don't give a shit at the end of the day. Yeah, so that is the fight card, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just admire what my Estevam graphic was. I was going to say that he's one of the easiest fights to predict ever. He wins 2-1 every single time. He shoots 30 takedowns in the first 2 rounds, gasses out, has nothing for you afterwards on the feet or really on the ground at that point, and just survives until he wins that 2-1 decision. He will be doing this way into beating Pantoja later in his career. Just incredible stuff. One of the greatest undefeated fighters of our time. Really skillful style. So, yeah, man, shout out Rafael Estevam. Listen, boys, that'll do it for the video today. That was the main card predictions for Steve Garcia versus David Onama. That intro took 7 attempts, by the way, because I kept saying Steve Onama and was pissing myself off. So, glad we finally got that figured out. Listen, there's been a lot of support on the channel recently. I appreciate all of you for watching the videos. It means a lot, man. It's weird to have people like commenting and actually wanting to talk about the UFC with me. So I'll always reply to all the comments. I appreciate all the love and support. My TikTok is at MoneyManziel MMA. I have it down below. A lot of clips from the channel on here. I'll probably try to anonymously post clips too, just to get more people to watch. But YouTube short every day as well. It's usually the same clip, so you're not really missing much. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll probably post something about fucking fight night cards being dog shit, or UFC 322 is coming up. Maybe I'll post something about that. Could be interesting to look at. So, yeah, I'll let you guys know down below. Or down below. I'll let you guys know at some point what I end up doing with that. In the meantime, enjoy your Tuesday. I will see you all in the next one. This has been a Money Menzel MMA production. Like, comment, and subscribe down below. I'll see you guys in the next one, like I just said. Peace out, boys.